Real estate developer? Ugh, just saying it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Probably because they have such bad taste themselves. I mean, talk about tacky. Is there anything they do that isn't embarrassing? The way they dress, the places they live, the people they date? And don't even get me started on their spoiled, stuck-up children. And so, in conclusion, based on this overwhelming evidence, we really have no choice but to oppose them, because just ick. But hold on. Even if any of this was true, what on earth would it have to do with a developer's work? It seems strange to have to say this, but developers are professionals, and their projects should be evaluated on their merits. But in film after film, character assassination is a main plank of the case against the developer, justifying residents' resistance to their plans. What's going on here? Let's see what the films have to say. As we've seen throughout this series, developers' projects are always awful and must never be allowed to see the light of day. Now, unfair as that may be, it's more than enough to provide dramatic conflict for these stories, and yet it's obviously not enough. Because films like these don't just invite us to hate the developer's plans, they invite us to hate the developer as a person, to ridicule their personal lives and disparage them for things that have nothing to do with the project. Why is that? Jealousy. That's part of it. It's no coincidence that developers are usually attacked for things that others may resent, their relationships, family ties, and symbols of wealth. But that only tells half the story.
Commission or no commission?
Listen, if you cause me any more trouble, kid, I'll finish you, your friends, and your whole damn neighborhood.
That's right. Stuff gets personal because the developers take it there in the first place. Their projects aren't professional. They're personal assaults on neighborhood residents themselves. And once developers have gone there, it's only fair for residents to respond in kind. Some popular targets? Exhibit A. Developers love lives. If a developer has a spouse or partner or whatever, you can bet they're presented as a trophy, because it's only natural that these insecure egomaniacs care about possessions and appearances more than anything in the world. Another favorite punching bag is the developer's children, always entitled insufferable monsters. Because how could these degenerate developers be anything but failures as parents? It's funny, in a kind of painful, depressing way, that as much as people long for the days of a mom-and-pop economy, whenever developers involve their kids in the family business, it always means corruption. But then, double standards are just so satisfying. Sometimes, when developers can't maintain healthy relationships with their real families, they resort to proxy children who fill the same greedy, entitled niche, which only serves to make everyone involved that much more deliciously hateable.
Why aren't you doing anything?
One clue we're supposed to hate developers and their minions is the way they dress. While some developers are praised for the way they look, many others don an exaggerated upper crust style that plays on audiences' knee-jerk hatred for preppy clothes and people, as if a designer ski suit or boating outfit is a criminal offense. I mean, I think that crest looks pretty classy if you ask me, but then there are the developers' homes. In a certain respect, this one is almost relevant. Since developers build buildings and homes are buildings, their homes might offer some glimpse of what kind of buildings they want to build in your neighborhood. But then, do you care what kind of car a bus driver drives when they're off duty? Do you care what a chef had for breakfast? What people do on their own time is their business. At work, their work is the only thing that matters, which is why, But then, who doesn't deserve to have their home destroyed just for doing their job? But now, we're getting to the heart of the issue. Evil developer films often send the message that developers simply aren't professionals. No, instead, they're amateurs, swindlers, hacks, and con men whose success depends on pulling wool over our eyes. And once people believe that, they're free from any obligation to show them any amount of respect. Case in point, the developer character in the 2015 film San Andreas. Enjoying approximately 5 seconds of sympathy at the beginning of the movie, this developer actually starts out better off than most of his brethren, but he's swiftly exposed as a selfish coward when he abandons one of his co-stars in a collapsing building. I mean, in his defense, he does try to get help, and when he flees the scene, it's probably just because he's in shock, right? Okay, maybe that was a little generous. The point is, we're not surprised to see him acting this way, because he's a developer. The fact that he's a developer and the fact that he's hateable go hand in hand. Neither has anything to do with his work. But both leave us thrilled to see him meet his unique and oddly satisfying end, because that's exactly what developers deserve. Or at least so says this film and many others like it. Here's what it means for you. When neighborhood residents don't understand the basis of a project, they tend to focus on the negatives, the negative impacts of the project, and their negative opinion of the developer as a person. And when they focus on those negatives, it's easy to feel that developers are personally attacking them, which gives them the excuse to respond in kind. What do you think? Do members of the community have any reason to feel justified making personal attacks against you? Check out The Secret Formula for more perspective on how communities really see developers and what you can do to flip the script. Unless this feels right to you, in which case, keep up the good work.